So Invincible manages to full hold Marvel2lRiva1s pros, and Marvel2lRiva1s pros decides to attack. And on that round, they just were struggling just a little bit to get the cart pushed as far as they would like, which led Invincible to be able to return with their own attacking round where Happy was really shining on the Psylocke. And, I mean, No Limit was doing as much as he could on the Hawkeye, but it wasn't quite enough despite getting so many picks. As soon as Invincible was able to pick off Marvel2lRiva1s' Hulk, it was just all falling apart from that moment forward. And I am really excited to see what is going to go differently this round as we have a Strange and Namor ban and a Protect on the Hulk and a Protect on the Hela. So maybe some Hela, maybe some Iron Man. Who knows? We're going to have to see.
I don't blame them, especially with really the Namor or leading into the Hawkeye ban. This has to be fully targeting against Kaidia. I wouldn't be surprised. We have seen him rip these plays before, especially off the Hawkeye. It's nothing pretty leading into the explosive hypersonic arrows. And then following that, it is the Hunter Sense off the ultimate. So we are getting one more ban out of Invincible here. That's Star-Lord. So now hard targeting ASD, maybe tending for the Psylocke, but still no more Star-Lord to have to run conjunction off of.
Yeah, I mean, running the Star-Lord isn't exactly desirable whenever it's on the enemy team because you got to pick off, and if he has an Adam Warlock, he just revives himself, and it's really frustrating to play against. So I do understand the Star-Lord ban without wanting to commit to Adam Warlock because that is a little bit more niche because Star-Lord is also on his own a really good answer to Iron Man as well. And now we're going to be seeing Invincible on the defense here with Happy on his beloved Psylocke and Kaidia on Hela. I'm not sure if we've seen Kaidia playing too much hit scan. We've seen a lot of Hawkeye. We've seen a lot of Namor, especially with Kaidia easily being the best Namor I've seen thus far in the tournament. But I don't think I've seen a lot of Kaidia playing Hela. That's usually Happy's job. So I'm really excited to see what he's able to pull off on this hero. I'm sure he will do just as well as he normally does with Marvel2lRiva1s pros running nearly the exact same composition. Actually, the exact same composition that every single character is mirrored. So this will just be a game of who is able to play their composition better.
Man, a full-on mirror match. You love to see it, or really you just ask certain people in ranked, they might hate to see it. Either way, should be a fun match at hand. Happy in the back, but that's going to be our Hulk exile, at least just momentarily. Good play from Fun to at least try capitalize some momentum advantage on the side of MR Pro here. Full stop. But now with the damage from No Limit back on the Hela, should be an interesting swap. At least trying to find one stun off the Thorns. Now moving over to the side, it's inv1ncible, who has made some pretty impactful plays throughout this tournament. No exception there, finds Kaidia, but that's ASD going down to Happy here.
And they exile the Hulk as Happy tries to clean him up, but he barely just gets out in time as Fun is restored back to full HP. And Invincible is sort of forced to just stare up at this high ground that Marvel2lRiva1s pros is holding. But thankfully, they were smart enough to destroy the bridge in advance, so they're not able to rotate to their own high ground that they're currently holding that Fun is jumping onto as he successfully gets a pick onto their Mantis and jumps out. He got his value. He can now wait as his team starts capturing the objective, and Invincible is going to try to get a regroup to contest the point, but it's not gonna happen as Asv just cleans up those remaining KOs that they need. And now Invincible forced to reset. They do have close to 6 ultimates for the next fight, and No Limit is just pushing up, getting these staggers right here. This is a really rough position to be in for Invincible as they push up further and further, almost to the end of the second point here, as they're not really being contested at all whatsoever just yet, because Invincible still needs to regroup, and they just keep staggering.
And not just yet, especially from high ground. No Limit, I'd be a little careful here. Maybe just transfer. Okay, there we go. Tippy back up off the Pro, not to go a little too far over the cliff edge. Now back down below. It's going to be No Limit having ulti up and available. Same can be said for Felix and Dobby as well. It would be the good sustain Fun, but inv1ncible hitting with the Meteor M. Try and get some damage off of that one. Not going to find anyone just yet, nor have the rest of the team capitalize, as that's Luna Snow ulti, at least in your back line. You sustain with Invincible. Not pushing further up here with a meteor of their own, just trying to find something, anything tail end. That's at least 2 in for Neko.
I mean, Neko popped that ult while they're using the Luna Snow ult, and he gets both of the strategists regardless, which is insane value because now Marv2lRiva1s Pros is down a Luna ult. They used the Luna ult in a fight that they lost, and they don't have much besides just a Mantis ult, so Happy might be looking for a solo ult on that Mantis to completely negate that ultimate from them and continue holding this second point here as Marv2lRiva1s Pros time bank dwindles down to a pretty large 3 minutes.
3 minutes, 20 seconds, dwindling down further and further, but I imagine you want to dwindle down on getting these health stacks. Dance the Butterfly might have to be an option for Happy to try and dart in here with, and as I say that, no sustain, but the Mantis ulti gets popped just the last second to save MR Pro the time and the trouble to contend with Happy.
And Happy, thankfully, has a really good position on No Limit here, as he was just LOSing his team with the pillar, no one able to save him from the wrath of Happy as he just goes on a tear, putting Bruce Banner in his place as the little scientist guy that he is. No more massive green hulking force to be reckoned with as Invincible starts cleaning this fight up. Felix trying to escape, but no one can escape from Happy.
Man, seasoned veteran, seasoned professional, just no matter what game you put them in, and no exception, finds No Limit. And they go down and out, sent back to spawn, having to crawl back. And Happy's just been left unchecked for this long. Nobody can even touch him, especially off the health, but no choice. Careful not to overextend, pull back a little bit in the line. Really just LOS of your backline strategists. It's Invincible would have at least 1, 2, 3, 4 ultis up on the side of MR Pro. Could be 3, especially coming in with the Meteor M. Dance of the Butterfly could be an option, but if you want push potential, it is the Luna Snow that you have to contend and rely on, but no Mantis though, as Neko was able to spot them off the Meteor M. Dance of the Butterfly in conjunction with the fate of both worlds, the Luna Snow, and a rage out Hulk from the side of Invincible. Goddess of Death, however, inside MR Pro.
It's so tragic from Marv2lRiva1s Pro. They once again top the Luna ult, and the Mantis gets KO'd anyways. And here we watch as the popping the Psylocke ult, not being able to get any securing picks with it, not forcing any support ultimates either. So it's a little tough as the Invincible is going to be having this Luna Snow ult for this next push right here. But oh no, No Limit is just sitting on this high ground, taking pot shots at everybody. No one is able to do anything about him quite yet. This Happy hasn't quite reached the fight just yet. But he does immediately pick off Asvid with ease, as now he needs to put his focus over onto No Limit, who's just chilling on the high ground, but he voluntarily drops down as he is pressured out, and Kaidia popping the Hela ult, doing a lot, making a lot of space, forcing them back, as there's only 4 meters left on the objective, as Marv2lRiva1s is going to take a little bit to recuperate right here. Not fully backing out, not getting out of the fight, not resetting, but just, you know, getting their resources back and making sure that they can take this fight as best as they can, as Happy pops the Psylocke ultimate to force out the Luna, which is really, really nice, and No Limit about to fall victim to Happy. I mean, Happy's just doing such a wonderful job keeping everyone in check right now.
And force out the Luna Snow ulti, knowing that MR Pro would be very vulnerable on top of it, allowing the rest of your team to capitalize on a lot of these eliminations, and no joke so far, about 0-1, 4 minutes left on the time bank. Dang, now switching sides over. This should be, or could be possibly, Invincible moving forward still, possibly 2-0 dominance, or MR Pro holding their own in this one.
Yeah, Invincible with a really wonderful hold. I mean, the first point they gave up rather quickly, but they held that second point for so long. That is a really impressive feat, especially against such a talented team as Marvel Rivals Pros. And I mean, we are in the grand finals. It does make sense that we have the two best teams in the tournament facing off against each other right here, right now, as we see that Marvel Rivals Pros on the defense, they are going to be running very super standard composition, the same comp as last round, and we are having a mirror match once again. And it's also been an absolute treat to watch Kaidia on the Hela. Again, we don't see him on the Hela too often because Happy is normally their designated hit scan player. But since Happy is on the Psylocke in this comp, Kaidia plays the Hela instead, and he is doing a fantastic job. And I mean, not to take away from Happy, because I mean, he has been tearing it up as Psylocke this entire map. No one on Marvel Rivals Pros has been able to walk around peacefully for one single moment, because there's always the looming fear of Happy coming out of Invis and exploding you in one swift blow. So you just always have to be aware of this constant force on the field.
Exactly. You have to keep your eyes and ears open at all times. You never know if Happy's going to be there to just strike down upon you. And as scary as it sounds, it's as scary as it seems. ASD sent back down. So now full team push in from Invincible. Hulk gets stunned at least momentarily. Should not be an issue. Able to pop with the Gamma shield. Now, No Limit back off in the corner. At least trying to get in range with the Hela. Not exactly working out too soon here. Sedated fully coming in off the Hulk, allowing MR Pro to at least pull back here, but it looks to be ASD winning the Chow against Happy here off the Psylocke.
You know, on Invincible's defense, what they did to ensure that Marvel Rivals Pros was not able to make that rotation is they destroyed the bridge. Now Marvel Rivals Pros remember to destroy the bridge, but thankfully it didn't even matter, as No Limit was able to just get KOs back to back to back, just absolutely cleaning up that fight by himself, doing a magnificent job, and they didn't even need to worry about breaking the bridge beforehand. They allowed Invincible to make that rotation onto their high ground, just right behind it, and they won regardless, thanks to No Limit just hitting some crazy shots.
Exactly, a quadruple elimination run. I say that No Limit might have met their limit, at least for a brief few moments here, especially against Happy. As you said, got to keep your eyes and ears open, especially for the dance of the butterfly coming from ASD, but might not be enough. Luna Snow ulti to hit, extra bit of sustain. Where there's one, there is another. The dueling playlist meet yet again back on the point, and if you are Neko wanting to build more upon the Meteor M at a 96% charge, could be up momentarily, frozen at least for a brief few seconds, but now we gotta angle it right. Kaidia coming in off the Hela to hit.
I mean, they are just doing, there's so many ults coming out into play. Neko hits a huge Magneto ult onto Marvel Rivals Pro, successfully getting the KO that they need. Asvida doing a wonderful job sweeping up Kaidia, and I mean, Fun is just having an absolute blast, tearing up the entire field right here, as they have successfully boarded off Invincible once again, and they know that Happy is lurking in the back line, and they are very aware of him. They are not gonna they do have to leave him back there, but they will not forget, because if they do, Happy will come back with a vengeance and be looking to just sweep up the entire backline of Marvel Rivals Pros. And I mean, at this point, they cannot be having that, because there's only a minute left on the clock for Invincible. Getting Happy right here would be such huge value for them, but unfortunately, he gets away thanks to Neko's bubble.
And just in the nick of time at that one, so Happy lives to tell the story for another day. I don't know if I can say the same for No Limit here. Raged out Hulk, finds one, finds another, off the clap into it. That's going to be W, unfortunately, so no man to sustain to really see MR Pro through this. And Elite Choppa, Felix, and Fun all down and out. Double elimination over to Neko off the Magneto. And now things get rolling here for Invincible, tying things 1-1. Have the potential to set this one in stone 2-1 if MR Pro isn't careful in how they strategize.
I mean, Neko is just doing so much work on the Magneto. It is really beautiful to watch, not just how well he's supporting his team by making sure to bubble Happy each time he goes in. Not that time because he was a little bit far away, but he's making sure to land those bubbles on Happy, shield his team appropriately, use those wonderful defensive Magneto ults while also getting the KOs that he needs. And he's also just landing all of his shots perfectly. He is just such a joy to spectate.
Man, spectating at that No Limit up in the back right now, playing more in the front line DPS damage, being a little careful with it. Goddess of Death could come in conjunction just at any point as the entirety of MR Pro had their ultis up and ready. Wouldn't stagger too soon, let something go awry here, but Fate of Both Worlds pops just in time to have contend against FunFun's ult. Raged out entirely. Back up top, Kaden moving forward. The Snow ulti with the Snow as well, getting a little bit of that health back, but now I think we might be preparing to tail end for Dance of the Butterfly as well as the Mantis sustain Nature's Wrath into the ultimate on top of that as well. But for Happy, able to scoot out of here, the damage, and now scooting back in seems to be No Limit, catching off stragglers off the side of Invincible.
Yeah, I mean, with just doing an amazing job cleaning up this entire fight right here. Every single ult was online for both teams, and every single ult got used besides Neko's. And I mean, Marv2lRiva1s Pros just had a successful hold. They did a great job, and now Invincible only has 1 minute to make something work right here. Again, they only have Neko's ultimate as a tool to use against Marv2lRiva1s Pros in order to capture this objective, and it's going to be a little bit hard because they're set up so well right here. And there's not much they're going to be able to do unless some real heroics get pulled off as gets bubbled in and starts tearing up the backline. But Invincible doesn't care as their Hulk player picks off Felix and goes stomping around, having a field day in their backline, making so much space as Marv2lRiva1s Pros is forced to back up really hard, and there's only... Oh, it's over. Invincible successfully captures the objective, making the series 2-0 in Invincible's favor against Marv2lRiva1s Pros.
All right, it's starting to seem like MR Pro allowing this to slip out of their grasp a little too soon. I don't want to see that, but we'll see. The MVP, of course, going over to Happy, 22 eliminations, 15